Sierra, Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta. Hello, friends, and welcome to another edition of Ridiculously Raw. I am your ridiculously over good brother, Anthony Florio, here. You heard what I just said at the start. You know it's coming. So we're going to get into that in just a moment. 24 hours ago, SmackDown Live put on one hell of a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view at the brand new Little Caesars Arena in Detroit. The big question was, how was Monday Night Raw going to follow that at the Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana tonight? Well, not much really. All they did was reunite one of the most popular factions of all time, give us a championship match. Opportunities arise, and oh my goodness, what else is there to say except what a Monday Night Raw we witnessed tonight? And of course, we're gonna have there will be some cutouts, a little bit of some cutouts, but I don't think we're gonna have many. So, oh my gosh, I mean, Didi Woods is not the only one exhausted. I am too, but I'm gonna try my best to get through this show the best that I can. So, joined by good old MF Michael Fletcher from the Cerebral Smack Talk, and of course, the Twisted Angel and First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, Didi Woodson. Our other colleague, the Phenom Michael Bullock, will be coming in late. As soon as he comes in, we'll catch him up on what he missed. So, yeah, so I know MF's going to be the most energetic of the three of us because Didi and I are, a little on the tired side, but for me, it was how good the show was. I couldn't believe. So, that being said, let's dive right on in. Now, this is something that doesn't happen often. Show. I mean, of course, the cutouts do happen, but it's not often we get a cutout on the opening segment. The only thing is, this is you could consider this a 50-50 segment here. What happened was it was the Miz, this was supposed to be the Miz TV, with Sheamus and Cesaro as Miz's guests, but he turned it into a rehash and part two of one of the worst segments of the year. That was the Mizzy Awards. I mean, you remember the first time they did this, it annoyed the hell out of us. This one just as much. But then once the Shield showed up, once Roman showed up, and then Ambrose showed up, and then Rollins showed up, then it was on. And hell breaks loose. Shield get their payback, and then Sierra, Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, Shield. That's what happened. The Shield's back, folks. It was a matter of time. They did the fist bump the way it should be done, and they're back together again. There's nothing left to say here. The Shield reunion was very well received by the live crowd. The placement of the reunion meant that WWE was more concerned with making sure all viewers saw it rather than teasing it for later in the show and risk losing viewers to Monday Night Football, as always. I actually found the Rollins and Ambrose reunion to be a little better because of the story they told leading up to it. But it's not like they could go back and tell a similar story this time around. They destroyed Miz to the point that I'm back to wondering whether they end up going with Braun Strowman teaming up with The Bar at TLC. And oh boy, when you hear what match was made later on, oh my goodness, because there was another big segment, and we're gonna have some fun with that. So there's nothing left for me to say except the Shield's back. Welcome back. Now, Survivor Series 2012, they debuted in that very arena, Indianapolis, when they interfered in Punk, Cena, and Ryback for the title. June 2014, the implosion when Seth Rollins joined the Authority. Remember Triple H? There's always a plan B. And how much fun Derek Ferrer had with that. And then from there, where was Raw tonight? Indianapolis, and they reunite. Whoa, okay. So there's nothing left for me to say on this except Sierra, Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, Shield. MF. We're not going to get into that whole Mizzy nonsense, but this segment was really all about the reuniting of the Shield, and it's the most excited I've been for our faction reunion since DX 11 years ago.
And the thing is, they didn't have to tease us. They gave it to us right away, right at the jump. And this was a little bit of a different strategy for WWE because normally they make you sweat it out a little bit, wait till later in the evening. But you got a lot of premieres on all the major networks this week. You know, a lot of them are rolling out all of their fall lineup now. Of course, Monday Night Football, the Vikings versus the Bears, which I don't think WWE really needed to pull. They didn't really need to pull the trigger on this because honestly, this is not one of their glamorous Monday night battles that I would have freaked out about. Of course, I know there's a lot of fans that would watch it. Of course, there was Major League Baseball. They got the baseball playoffs as at the time that it was going. It was Indians and Yankees at that time. So, I mean, yeah, you had competition, but WWE really could have waited at least an hour to pull the trigger on this, but they gave it right out of the jump street. They gave us the Shield reunion, which was awesome. And yeah, when Roman Reigns came out and he basically was like, you know what? What do you mean rumors? And once he saw Ambrose, I kind of was like, oh, it's happening. It's really happening. Then basically once you heard the burn it down of Seth Rollins, you already knew what was it like. Oh my God, this is legit. Even though I know Derek Cheese was saying that this was going to happen for a while, so we knew it was going to happen. But man, alive, when it did, it was awesome. It delivered. A lot of people were excited. I was excited. I know Dee Woodson was excited. I know Anthony, you were. You know, we were all marking out, and the internet blew. The internet exploded. Social media went nuts. Facebook, especially Facebook, went absolutely ballistic. Everybody was up. They were ready. They wanted it to see the Shield. You wanted it. Be careful what you wish for. You just got it. And let me tell you, you got the Shield in more than one ways tonight. We'll get into that in a little bit. But let's just say there was a whole lot of people that kind of got some comeuppance, as you know what I mean. I mean, yeah, The Miz, you might have been the ringleader for this anti-Shield movement, trying to get all this trouble in. You know, yes, you acquired the services of the Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro, and then you had the nerve to throw the the fists that only me and Anthony Florio and Michael Bullock can do. Because we're in the way the original Shield, we're the Shield of the wrestling form nowadays. You know, back then it was a Fortune 4. It was the Four Horsemen. But Derek kind of wants to do his own projects and be on his own, which is fine. I mean, I got nothing bad to say about it. Derek's doing a tremendous job on his own. We're now the Shield. Anthony is the Dean Ambrose, yes, and he is a little bit of a sometimes he is a little bit of a raging lunatic. I'm definitely the Roman Reigns of the group, and Mike Bullock is definitely an architect with some success in mind. So no, definitely no doubts about it. I love what I saw. This is pretty badass. This was awesome, man. Dee Woodson, it's all yours.
It was awesome. It was really good. I'm not going to say a whole lot about it because I'm actually sitting here dozing. So I'm going to toss it over to Florio.
Short and sweet and to the point. That's great. All right. We do have a lot to get into here. The last few weeks, Raw's been producing meh shows, but this was definitely back to the formula that has worked for Raw this year. That is solid and newsworthy. And believe me, this show was indeed both of those tonight, including a match of the night that you're not even going to believe what the fight of the night was when we get to it. First match of the night, it was a singles match. We had Jason Jordan squaring off against Carl Anderson. A little background here before we move, before we get to MF's thoughts on it. Jason Jordan, little known fact, but then again, we knew, but for anybody who may not know, Jason Jordan is actually a graduate of Indiana University. So you may have noticed the crowd was a little more receptive to Jason Jordan this time around. I mean, you noticed they were kinder to Jason Jordan than most disinterested crowds have been since he became Kurt Angle's storyline son. And we'll see if it was a sign of him starting to click or just one crowd. But nonetheless, Jason Jordan against one half of the Good Brothers, Carl Anderson, and Jason Jordan picks up the win, 8 minutes and 25 seconds. So MF, as we started off with you here, solid match, and for once, the crowd, Jason Jordan actually got a bit of a reaction for once.
I think that's a one-off, Anthony. I honestly think because it's in Indianapolis, Indiana, and you alluded to it that, he is an Indiana Hoosier from back in the day. So, no, I think that was kind of a one-off. So they knew Jason Jordan, especially in the Indianapolis area. It's easy to relate to. So I think that was kind of a one-off. I'm sorry. I don't think you're going to get that much of a reaction if he goes anywhere else. In Indiana, I think he's going to get some top billing. That's almost going to be similar to Chad Gable, because Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin are from Minnesota. If there's ever an event at the Target Center in Minneapolis, they're going to get a major pop in that city. So, no, I think that was a kind of a one-off. But I will say this. This was an okay fight, decent fight. I'm going to give this about 2 stars, maybe 2.25. I liked what Jason Jordan did. Nice win for him. And, they're building off of the storyline of the Good Brothers, Jason Jordan, and yes, the broken one, Matt Hardy. And, we're going to see what happens, what's going to happen next. But I like to see a little bit of this one-off victories and whatnot. So I'm kind of guessing maybe Matt Hardy goes up against the other member of the Good Brothers next week. Just like I predicted, when Cena fought Jason Jordan, that Roman Reigns had to fight him, and we saw that. So I think this could be a one-off. I think Jason Jordan, we saw Jason Jordan fight tonight. I think we could see Matt Hardy next week against the other member of the Good Brothers, and then maybe something down the line. But, at the end of the day, solid, nothing more to say. Didi, what's in this yours, my dear?
Yeah, I agree with the rating. Enough said.
Yeah, man, Didi, you are out of it. Needless to say, I don't think we're gonna get much out of Didi tonight, and that's okay. That's perfectly okay. No worries. You've had a long day. As far as my rating is concerned, 2.5. That's the best I can go. About 2.5 to 3. I don't see a lot wrong with Jordan other than lack of acceptance. But but this crowd, and you know what? I think MF is right. I believe this will be a one-off deal, a one-shot deal as far as approval goes. Because like I just said, Jason Jordan is a graduate of Indiana University, so awesome to say. So with that being said, let's move on. And yes, we do have a cutout here. So Didi, you can relax for a minute. Didi's favorite, Elias. We all know how much Didi Woodson loves Elias. But then again, not true. This is why, if we're gonna have a singer on the show, I personally would rather have Aiden English on Monday Night Raw, to be honest with you, because we can have someone who actually can sing because they in English can sing, and you know, like those guys I mentioned the other night, I'll rehash it the next time we see them. But Samson doing one of his usual numbers, interrupted by Titus O'Neil, and it brings out, and they end up having a match. But it was Elias who picks up the win. I need to get the time of the fall. It was a short match, like we knew it would be. Yeah, that match was not good. Not too bad, not too good, just right. So I actually will give it 2 stars for the effort, though. That's what I will do. So, and then they had a backstage segment. Kurt Angle, the Cruiserweight champion, Enzo Amore, and Enzo, pulled out that no contact nonsense. And then Enzo's like, why are you giving Kalisto a title shot at TLC? Angle said he signed Kalisto after he signed the clause. But then Kurt Angle says, we're not going to wait till TLC. We're going to have that Cruiserweight Championship match tonight. And on top of that, it's going to be a lumberjack match. And the no clause contract is off. Whew. Yep. 3 weeks in a row with the Cruiserweights in the main event spot. The crowd went from being flat about the main event announcement to at least approving of the lumberjack stipulation. Because what would the Raw main event segment be these days without a bunch of random Cruiserweights standing around? I continue to question whether these Raw closing segments are driving people to 205 Live or causing them to turn off Raw earlier than they normally would. So that's all there is to say on that. And then from there, here's an interesting match. Braun Strowman, the monster among men, one-on-one with the broken one, Matt Hardy. Braun Strowman wins in 6.5 minutes, but then the Shield gets involved again because Braun Strowman was getting ready to do a number on Matt Hardy, and then all of a sudden, here come the Shield, and then the Shield they get after Strowman. They clear the broadcast area, the stage announce table, and we get a Shield bomb. Braun Strowman gets Shield bomb through the Raw stage announce table. Oh my. Yeah, Dee Dee has some sort of thing on her end. I think I saw this on Facebook about a tweet about Bully Ray and The Undertaker and Elias. I don't know what that's all about, but oh boy, but Dee Dee Woodson, Braun Strowman beats Matt Hardy in 6.5 minutes, and then from there, the Shield attack, and the Hounds, they Shield bomb Braun Strowman through the Raw stage announce table. Whoa. Yeah. What's that you got there on your screen there?
It's a tweet from Bubba Ray Dudley to Elias Sampson. Apparently, back in the day, he did an eye roll that upset Undertaker, and now he's warning Elias, you did the eye roll today. You're going to be the one that is going to get the phone call from Taker that's not going to be very good.
Okay. So I know you probably don't. I don't know if you wanted to get into the Strowman and Hardy bout, but what about what happened afterwards with Strowman getting Shield bombed through the Raw stage announce table?
I think it's about time they got their retribution on Strowman. So, thumbs up to the Shield for that. So, like I said, I'm keeping it short and sweet. I'm tired. Go ahead.
I understand. I understand you. From what you said in the chat box, you definitely had a long day. So we'll keep you limited. Don't worry. So but anywho, for me, this 1.5 to 2. Braun, all is right with the world, and everything else. I went from being impressed that they gave Hardy so much offense to being surprised that they had the Shield destroy Strowman. And yes, now I'm back to wondering if the big man is in the TLC match. It's worth noting again that Strowman isn't even advertised for TLC on the live events page or on the Target Center website, so we'll see what happens. Well, actually, no, we don't have to wait and see what happens, because it was then announced that at TLC, it's going to be the Shield squaring off against The Bar, The Miz, and Braun Strowman in a 4-on-3 handicap TLC match. And if you don't know what a TLC match is, friends, it's simply tables and ladders and chairs. Oh my. Tables and ladders, chairs. Oh my. MF, I believe you want to join in on the oh my party like your idol Dick Enberg used to do. I smell an oh my coming from your end.
I'll just say this. This is going to be a very interesting situation, to say the very least. Started off pretty simple. Started off not so bad. We can say a lot of different things about this. Strowman beating Matt Hardy. Yeah, all right, fine. Nothing big or amazing about that fight, but my goodness, the Shield coming back with some vengeance. And the numbers game, 3-on-1, and even for the monster among men, he couldn't overcome those odds. And not only do you see him broken through a table, but then he also falls off the staging as well, outside of the floor. So the monster among men, for the first time in a long time, has been humbled by the Shield. Believe that. And as far as the TLC goes, to see it being 4-on-3, I don't know. I kind of got a feeling maybe one more guy. I kind of have a feeling to do 4-on-3, I don't like those odds. I don't know why. I just don't like that kind of thing. I want to see a 4-on-4. I'm wondering if the Shield is going to acquire one more guy just to neutralize Braun Strowman, because you got an angry giant, an angry monster that probably wants to tear into all three of them for what they just did. And of course, the crew themselves, or the Bar, and then you got the Miz. So obviously the Miz is going to be a part of the fight unless they take him out and then say, oh, he can't go, and then that makes the 3-on-3 dynamic, and then we get what the original plan was the Bar and Strowman against the Shield. So, I mean, there's a number of ways they can do this, and we still got a little bit of time. Not much time, but we got a little bit of time before TLC goes down. So, we'll wait and see what happens. I got nothing more to say. Move on.
Edie, you have something to say?
I heard something about this. It's a rumor, though, so don't take it at a grain of salt. We could be having Samoa Joe teaming up with the Shield on this one to make it 4-on-4.
Mojo Rawley?
Oh!
Wow.
Joe! Oh my God!
Like I said, take it with a grain of salt, because please let that rumor be true. I know I'm taking it with a grain of salt, and I know, but if WWE, if you have a heart, if you got the cojones to do this, pull the effing trigger. Do this. If you get it, shut up and take my freaking money.
And that would actually make you excited for a Raw pay-per-view for once, Mr. SmackDown Live?
Are you kidding me? You put Joe and the Shield together in a TLC fight? Do you imagine the violence that's gonna be? Forget it. Done.
It's vintage MF for you. I mean, I knew that money line was coming. So wow, that is one hell of a rumor. We're gonna have to look into that one. Samoa Joe and the Shield against the Miz, the Bar, and Strowman, TLC style. That could actually give Shane and Kevin Owens from last night a run for its money. That's all I can say. So, oh man, but we'll see what happens soon enough. But okay, then we have an interesting in ring segment with Mickie James and Alexa Bliss. Another war of the words, and well, this is. I mean, I know there wasn't really much to the segment, but if I know Dee Dee Woodson like I know Dee Dee Woodson, I bet she got a nice little laugh when Mickie James referred to Alexa Bliss as a biscuit butt. I swear I could hear Dee Dee Woodson laughing from a mile away, because we all know it's well documented how much Dee Dee Woodson cannot stand Alexa Bliss. And the minute I heard that biscuit butt thing, I swear I could hear her laughing in that. I swear I could.
All I'm going to say is this. The only reason why she doesn't care about Alexa Bliss, I think she likes her as a talent. She likes her as a wrestler. She just can't stand her because of that glorified name she got. And that's the thing. I think other than that, I think it's all fair game. Now, as far as that biscuit butt comment, oh, absolutely. I think we're probably going to hear Dee Dee Woodson probably refer to her more as that down the line than the other name that Michael Bullock got thrown into the woodshed for and got bent over the checkered apron about. And like I said, I didn't even do it. So, nah, I look, I love the personal going there level that these two lovely ladies have been going at. Back and forth, a little bit of that war, and I love it. I love that factor. I love what's going on, and it really makes it a really interesting dynamic, to say the very least. And that's something that needs to be brought to the forefront, and I love that they're actually doing this in a storyline progression. This is a lot more better than anything else that they've done in the past, because they made it relevant. And as much as I know Mickie James probably will not win the belt, and I think that's just okay, fine and dandy, because I think we all know who the next person in line is going to be. The Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka, when she comes back very soon. But at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do, and you got to handle your situation, and that's all that it is. So I got nothing more to say. Dee Dee, you want to take a quick spin on this?
I'm going to apologize for one word I'm getting ready to say in advance. Alexa Bliss, or Biscuit Butt, I guess we're calling her now, is a chicken shit. Enough said. Let's go.
Yep, and if that doesn't prove that Dee Dee is not the biggest Alexa Bliss fan, I don't know what does. So yes, but a quick thought from me. I mean, Mickie has shown great fire in her promos, and that newsreel gag was great. And they're doing a good job building to their Raw Women's Championship match at TLC. So, and then there was another segment, another backstage segment. You know, Kurt Angle with the other Raw women, and they all argue about who should face Asuka in Asuka's debut match at TLC. Well, Kurt Angle quietly makes a fatal five-way match. Bayley, Sasha Banks, Emma, Dana Brooke, and Alicia Fox. And the winner of that match will face Asuka at TLC. We'll give you the result of that in a minute. We have another cutout here. Tag team cruiserweight match. Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali against the newly heel-turned Jack Gallagher and Brian Kendrick. Gallagher and Kendrick win it 3.5 minutes. 1 3/4 stars. Not very good. It was rushed and disjointed. That's all there is to say about that. So, yeah. So insert a wrestler name, picks up a big victory here on Monday Night Raw. I swear Cole says that after every meaningless cruiserweight match on Raw. And then we had Finn Balor. Finn Balor shows up, and Bray Wyatt introduced the world to Sister Abigail, which is basically, sister. You're not going to get a female wrestler. Unfortunately, I mean, we were hoping that it was going to be a female wrestler. I heard a rumor about possibly Sister Abigail being Sage Beckett, who was one of the participants in the recent Mae Young Classic. She lost in the first round to Bianca Belair in what was a solid match. But if you're wondering about what's happening with Sister Abigail, well, want to know more. Bray Wyatt is going to be playing Sister Abigail. Yeah, you heard that right. Because you heard Sister Abigail speaking through Wyatt, which I thought was absurd. And can someone give the creative forces behind this a chance to write a horror movie script for Wyatt so that they can get this out of their system in a medium where it actually belongs? So, Bray is on some good stuff, but unfortunately, this angle and its promos keep getting worse. I just don't find this entertaining and find it to be a huge waste of Finn Balor. So, what else is there for me to say on that? So, well, we're going to move on to something a little more relevant here, and that is that match. This is actually a 5-way elimination match. This was not a one-fall match. This was an elimination match. Bayley, Dana Brooke, Sasha Banks, Alicia Fox, and Emma. Bayley with a Bayley to belly on Dana Brooke. Out goes Dana. And then Alicia Fox with an axe kick on Bayley. Bayley's gone. And then Sasha Banks with a bank statement on Alicia Fox. Goodbye, Alicia. And then Emma rolls up Sasha and gets the win. So Emma is the winner. Emma will face Asuka at TLC. Yeah, I heard a dirt sheet about that too, Didi. You're absolutely right. But nonetheless, Emma picks up the win. So 1 3/4 stars. Sloppy, disjointed, not good at all. And the broadcast team was completely melting down. Cole didn't know what type of match it was. Graves had a rare moment of stammering, and Booker brought up Japan and how Mike Tyson lost to Buster Douglas, which Cole said he didn't understand because TLC is in Minneapolis rather than Japan. And the funny thing is that I got what Booker was going for, and they let far worse slide. And yeah, and as far as Emma winning the match goes, she was the most logical opponent. I'm sure they want to save Sasha and Bayley as Asuka opponents for somewhere down the road. And Emma strikes me as being more likely to hold up her end of the match than Alicia Fox and especially Dana Brooke. So, I don't know, MF Didi, if you want to, give a thought about this, feel free. Otherwise, we'll just move on. But Emma is going to square off against Asuka.
I will say this. Well, I'm going to say this. If this is the first fight, quality opponent, nice choice. I actually would say Nia Jax. If you're going to put the Empress of Tomorrow on a big stage, give her one of the baddest women out there. Even though I think Emma will do fine against Asuka, and there's been fights between them before, so I guess that's a good move because they're giving us somebody that she already knows. I don't mind who they gave for the first fight. For me, I would really want to give her a real challenge, and the only one that I think that would give Asuka a real challenge would have been Nia Jax. I think if you gave her Nia, that would have been a real interesting first fight. and a great way to welcome her into the WWE main roster. But, you know, I'm not going to say much about the fight because it was a predictable ending, but, you know, we'll wait and see. Move on.
I'm going to give it probably 1.5 stars, and pretty much Emma going in with Asuka, she's dead meat, so enough said.
Yeah, congratulations, Emma. That's all I can say there. And now, we move on. Hey, we're already at the main event, my friends. Wow. Lumberjack match for the Cruiserweight Championship. Enzo Amore defending the title against Kalisto. Winner of the match in 14 minutes and 35 seconds. And the new Cruiserweight champion, Kalisto. He wins it with the Salida del Sol. MF, I can't believe I'm saying this, but the Cruiserweights actually stole the show for once.
Not only stole the show, but this had to go down as one of the best Cruiserweight matches since they've brought it back on Monday Night Raw. I mean, I'll openly admit this. This was a great match. This was an unbelievable fight. 3.5 stars, maybe 3 3/4. And yes, fight of the night. Definitely a great storyline building for something that you could see. And thank God they gave the belt to Kalisto. I mean, that's a fresh face, a good guy to have in the division. Now you can make Enzo chase for a little bit because, let's be realistic, I don't think nobody really cared about him being the Cruiserweight champion when he won the belt. We all thought that that was going to be a great thing to happen, and it ended up being flattered and moldy bread. So, no, great situation, great moment. And congratulations to Kalisto. Lucha, 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 lucha. A new Cruiserweight champion of the world. Anthony, it's yours.
You're absolutely spot on, MF. 3.5 stars, teetering on 3 3/4. This was definitely the best of the Cruiserweight segments that have closed Raw over the last 3 weeks. It will be interesting to see if the main event love continues now that Enzo has dropped the strap. It will also be interesting to see what those third-hour viewership numbers are like tomorrow, because they told viewers well in advance that the Lumberjack match would close the show. So there's really nothing left to say on that. So 3.5 to 3 3/4, unbelievable. So, all right, let's get to we're gonna get now to our overall review here. I'm gonna have Didi Woodson start it off because I know she's tired and she's ready to get out of here. So. Didi, let's get a quick overall review from Raw tonight, and then we'll let you go.
I'm going to give it about 6 stars. It did have a couple of strong segments and matches, but most of it just flat, boring. You know, not really into it. So, but then again, you're talking to somebody who's been up since like 7 o'clock this morning and moved furniture all day. So yeah, I'm pretty out of it. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Good night.
All right, good night, Didi. Get some rest. So that's all we can say on that. So all right. I'm leaning more towards Didi's rating as well. 6 to 6.5, maybe. Obviously, the key moments of the show involved the Shield reunion, which was over in a huge way with the live crowd. And we got some solid build to TLC. The Shield stuff was amazing. The Cruiserweights actually delivered a very surprising main event. But other than that, the rest was filler and not really good filler at that. And the third hour dropping off in quality yet again. But other than that, I mean, the Shield reunion, I mean, that was far and away the highlight. And, you know, the beat down on Strowman. Cruiserweights delivered with the fight of the night. No doubt about it. And, but you know what? I think I might go with Didi's rating of 6 out of 10. I mean, other than the Shield reunion and that surprisingly good Cruiserweight main event, what else on this show really stood out? even though we got some nice setup for TLC, and next week on Monday Night Raw, 1-on-1, we're gonna renew what has been one of the best rivalries of 2017 on the Raw side. Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman, they're gonna be meeting in the confines of a 15-foot high steel cage. Oh lordy, is that gonna be something? So TLC match is set. The 4-on-3 handicap TLC match with The Miz, The Bar, and Braun Strowman against The Shield. Alexa Bliss and Mickie James for the Women's Championship. Well, actually, we have 4. I think they're going to do Kalisto and Enzo in a return match for the Cruiserweight Championship on that show. And, of course, Asuka's debut match, which will be against Emma. So we'll see if TLC can live up to the hype, can, give last night's amazing Hell in a Cell event a run for its money. I mean, because we all know how incredible No Mercy was. I mean, No Mercy, Hell in a Cell was last night. I mean, heck out of me, and it ended up being one of the best pay-per-view events of the year, which featured the match of the year, WWE-wise. So, I mean, I don't really know what else there is to say on that. So, I think just about 6 out of 10 is about right. So, MF, let's get your overall thoughts on this solid and newsworthy Monday Night Raw tonight. And I do mean newsworthy.
Solid show. It's definitely a 6 out of 10 for me as well. I liked what I saw from everything that went down, and it was kind of more of a, we were looking for something a little more better, a little more deeper, but at the end of the day, I thought it brought everything home. I thought they just brought a good tone to the show. Yes, I know there was a couple of fights that really didn't stand out, and we really wish it could have gone a lot more better. But at the end of the day, it was fine for what it was worth. You had a good storyline. You had everything that came out pretty well. The Cruiserweights stepped up big time tonight, and they stepped forward, and I loved what they brought to the table. I can't wait to see what they bring now, and maybe that it also might be a good thing, because that also might propel them into something real interesting for 205 Live. And that's also one thing that needs to be talked about, is that not only do we have Monday Night Raw, but now you got to start thinking about 205 Live, and let's see what they bring to the table now. At the end of the day, amazing. Nothing more to say. Anthony, time for your take.
Yeah, hopefully Michael Bullock gets in here shortly. But yes, Tony's take time here on Ridiculously Raw and 205 Live. We're gonna get into from this past week, and so without any further ado, let's dive on in. I'll tell you right now, this was not a good show. And then I believe we had an in-ring segment with Kalisto, and then he was interrupted by Ariya Daivari, and it led into Kalisto's first match against Ariya Daivari. Kalisto wins 4 minutes and 45 seconds. Solid, but completely unspectacular, as Daivari took too much of the match, and Kalisto was not made to look impressive at all. Mustafa Ali against Drew Gulak. Mustafa Ali wins 6 minutes and 40 seconds. 2 stars. It was okay technically, but was painfully bland with the constant Tozawa chanting. I get they're building to a match, but that was really boring. And then the main event, Cedric Alexander against Jack Gallagher. Jack Gallagher wins via disqualification in 6 minutes and 35 seconds. 2.5 stars by default, the fight of the night. While nothing spectacular, it had the most energy on the show and was one of the few things that interested me. And it should set them up nicely for a blow-off match with a fun stipulation. 5.5 out of 10. Lackluster show, while they continued some feuds and set up a Swan TJP rematch for next week. But the follow-up with Kalisto and Enzo felt very flat, with Kalisto not being put into a position to look good at all, or like a challenger you can invest in. We know he's there to be the sacrificial lamb for Enzo's first defense. Yeah, so much for that. but at least put them in a position to succeed and maybe make us care. So, but it'll be very interesting to see what they do tomorrow night on 205 Live, especially after what happened tonight with Kalisto Championship. So nothing more to say on that. Now we're just gonna dive right on into the Impact Wrestling, and I'll tell you, this was definitely better than 205 Live, but not much better. Eli Drake, him and Chris Adonis. It was a windbag talking segment. It was fun as Drake gets to gloat about his big win over Johnny Impact and claim he did it on his own like a delusional heel should. And then Chris Adonis went up against Garza Jr. Chris Adonis won the match in 11 minutes and 50 seconds via disqualification. Solid match, nothing special, but worked as a setup for next week's #1 contenders match. Garza Jr. is going to be squaring off against Johnny Impact, match made by Jim Cornette, and the winner of that match will challenge Eli Drake for the global championship in the main event of Bound for Glory. Wow, high stakes. The new tag team champions, OVE, they went up against John Bolin and Trey Miguel. OVE went over 3 minutes, 37 seconds. Champions won quickly and with ease, as they should have. OVE are fine, but really they're not doing anything to excite me or make me care about them. Another in-ring segment, Sienna. And then all the other knockouts came out. Gail Kim showed up. Taryn Terrell showed up. Ali showed up. And then Karen Jarrett, the Knockout Authority, informed us that at Bound for Glory, Sienna will defend the women's title against Gail Kim, Taryn Terrell, and Ali in a fatal four-way match at Bound for Glory. The first official match for Bound for Glory, which is good, but I just can't get into the revolving door promos no matter who does them. The thought process was good, but the execution was average at best. Then we had a 6-man tag team match, X Division style. Andrew Everett, Caleb Connolly, and the X Division champion Trevor Lee. They squared off against Sanjay Dutt, Petey Williams, and Matt Sydal. The face team, Sanjay Dutt, Petey Williams, Matt Sydal, they win the bout 14 minutes and 31 seconds. It's not often I say this, but co-fight of the night, 2 3/4 to 3 stars. Overall, pretty good match. And it was the first thing on this show that felt like it had some real energy. They need to do something about the overly long commercial breaks, though. And I'm still waiting for the X Division to be the X Division of old. The talent is there. Let them loose. And then the main event, Ethan Carter III, the Impact Grand Champion, teaming up with Cowboy James Storm. They squared off against AAA's own Tejano, which is, I believe, the Tejano from Lucha Underground, along with El Hijo del Fantasma. And it was Tejano and Fantasma winning the match in an even 20 minutes. The other fight of the night, 2 3/4 to 3 stars. Match with Team AAA picking up the win due to the numbers game and because they are more united than EC3 and Storm. If the Impact team had to lose, that was the way to do it. 6 out of 10. Another solid but unspectacular edition of Impact Wrestling. Nothing really stood out. Nothing was horrible. But the pieces are slowly falling into place for Bound for Glory. We still have a month's build to go. I just hope that these upcoming shows are focused and lock in the big show and get some buzz going. So 6 out of 10 for that. And now let's look and see what's coming up on the next edition of Impact Wrestling. What do we got here? Taryn Terrell is going to cut a promo. It's going to get interrupted by Gail Kim. Rosemary's going to be in a knockout squash match against a young lady by the name of Hannah Hartford. I like that name, Hannah Hartford. LAX, they call out OVE. They want their tag team championship rematch. Let's just say it's going to go down at Bound for Glory, and wait till you hear what's going to happen in this one. Desmond Xavier squares off against Andrew Everett. Johnny Impact and Garza Jr. in that #1 contenders match. And And then Jeremy Borash in the ring to talk about Bound for Glory. And they get interrupted by Bobby Lashley and, well, not really Bobby Lashley. It was America's Top Team. Ugh, yeah, I can't stand those guys. And then Johnny Impact's going to be in another match, this time against Christopher Adonis. So that's how this edition will go down on Thursday night, 8 Eastern, Pop Television. Give it a whirl, and that's it. So that'll do it for this edition of Ridiculously Raw. I want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. We're just gonna wrap it up with our quick shout outs, and MF, we'll start it off with you.
Thank you to all the great fans out there for making the show as amazing as it is. You guys are the best fans in the world. To the super fans, you guys know who you guys are. 2184 crew, love you guys. Friends in junior high and high school days, you guys are awesome. Tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern on Braves Fan 95 is Cerebral Smack Talk. SmackDown Live. We got more updates or more results from Lucha Underground, the Ultima Lucha Tres, still going down. We're going to give you week 2, tell you what went down there. And then, of course, if I got any other news in the world of professional wrestling, I'll deliver it right then and there. Tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern. Until then, you know the routine, 100 pounds. I'm out. Have a good night, everybody. So long for now. Anthony, take it home.
Yeah, we'll do. Special shout out to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who continue to make our shows as over as they are. We appreciate it as always. Best fans in the world. Extra special shout out to Dee Dee Woodson for coming in and giving us some insight, even though she was not really at her best. Major props to her, along with Kevin Woodson and the rest of the Woodson family. Matt Ward, Jason Hickson-Bar, Dan Luttrell from the UK, Tyler Butler, Megan Silva, and Lexi Calloway, and of course our other crew members, Tommy Souza, Eric Carrier, Jimmy Alden, Al Richardson, and Rob Parsons, and Michael Bullock. I guess he won't be able to come in after all. So, but hopefully we'll have him tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk. And of course, the man himself, Falcon Striker 445, Derek Ferreira, and that's it. So I'll save the rest of my shout outs for Friday night. Like MF said, tomorrow night, immediately following SmackDown Live, we'll have the Cerebral Smack Talk. The fallout from that shocking ending to Hell in a Cell with Sami Zayn with the heel turn. We'll find out. Maybe we'll find out why he helped Kevin Owens in that bout. And it's also been confirmed that AJ Styles has invoked his rematch clause. So AJ Styles will challenge Baron Corbin for the United States Heavyweight Championship. So there's a couple of things to look forward to there, and then also what MF said, the week 2 Ultima Lucha Trace recap. I'm very interested to hear what he has to say about that main event, because I had a damn fun time with that main event. Trust me, on my end. And then Thursday we got college football Thursday. Of course, you know what the headline game is for that: the Red River rivalry, Oklahoma and Texas, and some other good matchups. And then Friday night, we got NFL Friday, headlined by the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Kansas City Chiefs, along with some other good games there. And that's it. So until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk over on MF's channel, Braves Fan 95, it's your ridiculously over good brother, Anthony Floyer here. For good old MF, Michael Fletcher. And in spirit, Dee Dee Woodson, Michael Bullock, and Derek Ferreira. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Tuesday. Until tomorrow night for this Cerebral Smack Talk, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube.com. And remember, no matter what anyone tells you, wrestling is indeed actually real. Good night, everybody.